Have you ever stopped in the middle of your daily routine, perhaps during a quiet moment between the noise of life, and asked yourself, why am I doing this? Not just the immediate task like working, eating, or scrolling through your phone, but the deeper question, why do I make the choices I make? What invisible forces are pulling the strings of your decisions? Think about it. Every morning you wake up, go about your day, pursue goals, and make sacrifices. But have you ever truly examined the reasons behind it all? Why do some of us chase wealth while others crave love? Why do we fear failure so deeply or cling so tightly to habits that no longer serve us? Beneath every action lies a hidden motive, a whisper of purpose, fear or desire that shapes not only what we do but also who we are becoming. And yet, most of us never stop to question it. We live on autopilot, driven by forces we barely understand, locked in patterns we didn't consciously choose. What if I told you that understanding the why behind your actions could unlock a door to a life of clarity, freedom, and purpose? What if the simple act of reflecting on your motivations could transform everything you do? This isn't just about self-awareness. It's about the power to change your habits, overcome your fears, and take control of your destiny. Because when you uncover the truth behind your actions, you begin to see a deeper truth about yourself. And that truth, it could be the key to creating the life you've always longed for. So stay with me. This journey into understanding why we do might be the most important step you've ever taken. By the end of this, you won't just know the answer, you'll be ready to live it. Every action we take, whether deliberate or instinctual, carries a hidden thread of purpose. Humans are unique in that we do not merely act to survive, we act to create, to contribute, and to find a sense of meaning in our lives. This search for meaning is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Without it, even the most comfortable life can feel empty, while a life filled with challenges can feel profoundly worthwhile if tied to a purpose. Purpose gives us a reason to wake up in the morning. It fuels our decisions, giving us direction and clarity. Think about it, when you know why you're doing something, obstacles become easier to overcome. Without that why, even small challenges can seem insurmountable. Meaning is the glue that holds our lives together, helping us endure the hard days and cherish the good ones. This pursuit of meaning isn't confined to grand achievements or lofty goals. It is woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. A parent finds meaning in raising a child, an artist in creating beauty, and a teacher in shaping young minds. While the specifics differ, the underlying desire remains the same: to matter, to feel that what we do has value not just for ourselves, but for something greater. Even mundane actions can carry meaning when tied to a larger purpose. Washing dishes, for instance, isn't just about cleanliness, it can symbolize care for one's family or oneself. Similarly, going to work isn't merely about earning money, it's about providing security, fulfilling responsibilities, or achieving a personal vision of success. The deeper the connection to purpose, the more fulfilling the action becomes. Our search for meaning is also what drives us to ask the right questions. Why are we here? What is our role in the world? These questions aren't always answered directly, but the act of seeking them shapes our lives. It pushes us to grow, to learn, and to look beyond ourselves. This journey often defines the trajectory of our lives more than the answers themselves. Interestingly, our sense of meaning evolves over time. What mattered deeply to us in childhood may seem trivial as adults, while new priorities take center stage. This fluid nature of purpose reflects the complexity of being human. As we grow and change, so does our understanding of what gives life value. At its core, the search for meaning is a reflection of our humanity. It is what separates existence from living, routine from fulfillment. The deeper we explore this search, the more aligned our actions become with our values, and the more intentional our lives become. Fear is one of the most powerful motivators behind human behavior, and at its core, much of this fear stems from the unknown. The uncertainty of the future, the unpredictability of outcomes, and the possibility of failure all combine to create a powerful force that influences our decisions, often without us realizing it. This fear acts as a double-edged sword, sometimes protecting us, but often limiting us. The unknown carries an inherent discomfort. As humans, we are wired to seek stability and predictability, both of which provide a sense of safety. When we face uncertainty, our natural instinct is to avoid it or control it. This is why people stick to routines, stay in jobs they dislike, or avoid taking risks. The fear of stepping into the unknown often outweighs the potential rewards of doing so. Yet it's not just physical or tangible risks that frighten us. Emotional risks, like vulnerability, rejection, or disappointment, can feel even more daunting. These fears are deeply rooted in our psychology, often tied to past experiences where uncertainty led to pain or failure. Over time, these experiences reinforce a mindset where avoiding the unknown becomes synonymous with self-preservation. This fear also manifests in the decisions we don't make. Opportunities are often missed not because they are unattainable, but because the path forward is unclear. For example, someone may avoid starting a new business because the future feels unpredictable, even though they possess the skills and resources to succeed. The unknown creates hesitation, and hesitation often leads to inaction. Paradoxically, while we fear the unknown, we are also drawn to it. It is the mystery of what lies ahead that fuels curiosity and innovation. This tension between fear and curiosity creates a push and pull dynamic in our lives. Some people lean into the unknown, finding growth and discovery, while others shrink back, letting fear dictate their path. Our relationship with the unknown also depends on how we frame it. For some, uncertainty is a threat. For others, it is an opportunity. This perspective is shaped by past experiences, mindset, and the support systems around us. Those who view uncertainty as a challenge to be embraced often find themselves growing in ways they never imagined. Ultimately, the fear of the unknown shapes much of what we do. Whether it propels us forward or holds us back depends on how we respond to it. By acknowledging this fear and understanding its roots, we can begin to reclaim control over our decisions and actions, rather than letting fear make them for us. Human beings are inherently social creatures. From the moment we are born, we are drawn to connection. We seek it in our families, friendships, relationships, and communities. This deep need to belong and feel connected is one of the most powerful drivers of human behavior, influencing everything from the words we speak to the goals we pursue. Connection gives us a sense of identity. By forming bonds with others, we learn who we are in relation to the world around us. These relationships provide a mirror reflecting our strengths, weaknesses, and values. It is through connection that we begin to understand ourselves, and it is through the absence of connection that we often feel lost. Our desire for connection also explains why rejection and isolation can be so painful. When we feel disconnected, we experience a sense of emptiness that no material possession can fill. This is why people often go to great lengths to maintain relationships, even unhealthy ones, and why loneliness can have such a profound impact on mental health. Interestingly, our need for connection is not limited to people we know. We seek connection in shared experiences like cheering for a sports team, attending a concert, or even engaging with a story or piece of art. These moments remind us that we are part of something larger than ourselves, and that shared human experience transcends individual differences. The desire for connection also drives much of our behavior in subtle ways. We dress a certain way, speak a certain way, or pursue certain interests to feel accepted by those around us. This isn't inherently good or bad, it simply reflects the lengths we will go to feel a sense of belonging. At its best, connection inspires us to grow and contribute. Healthy relationships challenge us, support us, and provide a foundation for us to reach our potential. At its worst, an unhealthy attachment to connection can lead to dependency, fear of abandonment, or compromising our values to fit in. Our desire for connection is both a gift and a challenge. It is a reminder that we are not meant to journey through life alone, and that the quality of our connections often determines the quality of our lives. By understanding this fundamental need, we can make more conscious choices about the relationships we nurture and the communities we build. Every action we take, whether small or significant, is driven by the desire to move closer to happiness or further away from pain. This pursuit of happiness is not a fleeting emotion, but a deeply ingrained aspect of our humanity. It influences our goals, relationships, and even the sacrifices we're willing to make. Happiness is the compass by which we navigate our lives, though its definition is unique to each individual. The complexity of happiness lies in how we perceive it. For some, it is tied to external achievement, success, wealth, or recognition. For others, it resides in the intangible peace of mind, love, or personal growth. Despite these differences, the common thread is the feeling of fulfillment. Happiness isn't simply about pleasure, it's about living in alignment with what we value most. Interestingly, the pursuit of happiness often leads us to temporary satisfaction rather than lasting fulfillment. This is because we sometimes confuse fleeting pleasures with true happiness. For example, buying a new gadget or achieving a short-term goal might bring a moment of joy, but that feeling quickly fades. True happiness requires deeper, more enduring sources, such as meaningful relationships, a sense of purpose, or personal growth. Happiness is also deeply influenced by our mindset and perspective. Two people can experience the same situation, but interpret it differently based on their outlook. One might focus on the positive aspects and feel content, while the other fixates on the negative and feels dissatisfied. This highlights the importance of cultivating a mindset that seeks gratitude and positivity, as happiness is often more about perception than circumstance. Paradoxically, the relentless chase for happiness can sometimes lead to unhappiness. When we place all our hopes on a future outcome such as earning more money, achieving a goal, or finding the perfect partner, we risk neglecting the present moment. This when then thinking, when I achieve this, then I'll be happy, keeps happiness perpetually out of reach. True contentment, on the other hand, lies in appreciating the journey as much as the destination. Cultural and societal expectations also shape how we pursue happiness. We're often told what should make us happy, like acquiring wealth, status, or material possessions, only to discover that these external markers don't bring the fulfillment we expected. This disconnect pushes us to reevaluate what happiness truly means for us as individuals, rather than conforming to societal norms. The pursuit of happiness is not about avoiding pain or chasing pleasure. It's about understanding what genuinely matters to us and living in harmony with those values. By focusing on inner fulfillment rather than external validation, we can transform the way we experience life and find joy in even the simplest moments. Much of what we do every day is not the result of conscious decision-making, but rather the power of habit. Habits are the routines and behaviors we repeat so often that they become automatic. They shape how we spend our time, how we think, and ultimately, who we become. While habits can be empowering, they can also trap us in cycles that are difficult to break. Habits are formed through repetition. When we perform an action repeatedly, our brain creates neural pathways that make it easier to perform that action again. This efficiency is beneficial. It allows us to focus our mental energy on more complex tasks. However, it also means that harmful habits can become just as ingrained as helpful ones. The power of habit lies in its subtlety. We rarely notice how our habits shape our lives until we step back and examine them. For example, the habit of procrastination might feel harmless in the moment, but over time it can erode productivity and create stress. Conversely, the habit of regular exercise might feel challenging initially, but leads to long-term physical and mental health benefits. Breaking a bad habit requires more than willpower. It involves understanding the cues and rewards that sustain the habit loop. Habits are often triggered by specific situations, emotions, or environments. For example, reaching for junk food might be triggered by stress, and the reward is temporary comfort. By identifying these triggers and replacing the reward with something healthier, we can begin to reshape our habits. Similarly, building new habits requires consistency and patience. A common mistake is attempting to overhaul one's life overnight, which often leads to burnout. Instead, focusing on small, incremental changes allows habits to take root more naturally. Over time, these small changes compound, creating significant transformation. Habits also reflect our values and priorities. What we choose to do consistently reveals what matters most to us, whether consciously or unconsciously. For example, spending hours on social media might indicate a need for connection, while dedicating time to a hobby might reflect a desire for personal growth. By aligning our habits with our goals, we can ensure that our actions support the life we want to create. Perhaps the most empowering aspect of habits is their ability to redefine our identity. When we build positive habits, we not only change what we do, but also how we see ourselves. For example, someone who starts exercising regularly begins to see themselves as a healthy and disciplined person. This shift in self-perception reinforces the habit, creating a cycle of growth. Our beliefs are the invisible architects of our actions. They form the foundation of how we perceive the world, others, and ourselves. What we believe to be true shapes how we interpret events, make decisions, and ultimately how we live. These beliefs often operate in the background, influencing us in ways we rarely notice, but profoundly impacting every aspect of our lives. Beliefs are often formed early in life, influenced by family, culture, and personal experiences. For example, someone raised to believe that hard work always leads to success may approach challenges with persistence and optimism. Conversely, someone who believes the world is unfair might adopt a more cynical or resigned attitude. These early beliefs set the tone for how we navigate the world. The power of belief lies in its ability to shape reality. When we believe something strongly, we filter our experiences through that lens. For example, if you believe you're capable of achieving your goals, you're more likely to notice opportunities and take proactive steps. On the other hand, if you believe you're destined to fail, you're more likely to focus on obstacles and give up prematurely. Beliefs are not always based on truth or logic. Many are formed through repetition rather than evidence. For example, hearing a negative statement about yourself repeatedly can lead you to believe it, even if it's untrue. This is why self-talk and the beliefs we reinforce internally are so powerful. They can either build us up or tear us down. Challenging deeply ingrained beliefs can be uncomfortable but transformative. Questioning why we believe what we do often reveals hidden assumptions or biases. For example, examining a belief like "I'm not good enough" might uncover a fear of rejection or past experiences of failure. By confronting and reframing these beliefs, we open the door to growth and change. Beliefs are also influenced by our environment. The people we surround ourselves with, the media we consume, and the culture we live in all play a role in shaping our worldview. This is why it's crucial to be intentional about the influences we allow into our lives. Surrounding ourselves with positive, growth-oriented influences can help us cultivate empowering beliefs. Our beliefs act as a map, guiding us through life. They determine what we see as possible, what risks we're willing to take, and how we respond to challenges. By becoming aware of our beliefs and choosing those that align with our values and goals, we can take control of our actions and create a life of purpose and fulfillment. Deep within the human psyche lies a universal desire, the need to prove ourselves. This drive, though often subtle, influences many of our actions. We strive to validate our worth, seeking recognition from others, and often from ourselves. This need to prove who we are, whether through accomplishments, relationships, or status, shapes the way we live and the goals we pursue. From childhood, we are conditioned to seek approval. A child learns quickly that praise comes with achievement, getting good grades, behaving well, or excelling in a sport. This cycle of validation establishes a belief our value is tied to what we do, not who we are. As adults, this belief often persists, pushing us to chase success as a way to prove our worth to the world. Interestingly, the need to prove ourselves is not always about external validation. Often it stems from an internal dialogue. We may feel the need to prove ourselves to counter self-doubt or overcome insecurities. For example, someone who grew up feeling underestimated may work tirelessly to achieve success, not just for others' approval, but to silence their inner critic. This drive can be both a blessing and a burden. On one hand, it fuels ambition, motivating us to work harder, learn more, and push past limits. Many great achievements in history are the result of individuals who were determined to prove their capabilities. On the other hand, this need can become exhausting if it is driven by fear of failure, rejection, or inadequacy. The need to prove ourselves often leads to comparison. We measure our success against others, believing that their accomplishments diminish our own. Social media, with its curated highlight reels, amplifies this tendency. We see others' achievements and feel compelled to match or exceed them, not realizing that true validation cannot come from external sources. Ironically, the harder we try to prove ourselves to others, the more elusive self-acceptance becomes. The pursuit of external validation often distracts us from the internal work of understanding and accepting who we truly are. This creates a cycle where no achievement feels enough, as the underlying sense of worthlessness remains unaddressed. Ultimately, the need to prove ourselves is a reflection of our desire to feel valued and seen. When this need is rooted in confidence and self-respect, it can lead to meaningful growth and accomplishment. However, when it stems from insecurity, it can lead to burnout and dissatisfaction. Understanding the origins of this need helps us channel it in ways that empower rather than drain us. Desire is a fundamental force that drives much of what we do. Whether it's the desire for success, love, security, or adventure, this inner longing shapes our goals and influences our actions. Desire is neither good nor bad on its own, it is simply energy. How we channel that energy determines whether it propels us forward or leads us astray. Desire begins with a sense of lack. We desire something because we believe it will fill a void or improve our lives in some way. For instance, the desire for wealth often stems from a need for security, while the desire for recognition may arise from a longing for significance. Understanding what lies beneath our desires can reveal deeper truths about what we truly seek. The pull of desire is powerful because it connects to our emotions. A dream or goal isn't just an abstract concept, it carries with it feelings of hope, excitement, and anticipation. This emotional connection fuels motivation, inspiring us to take action. Without desire, life can feel stagnant and uninspired, as a desire that sparks movement and change. However, desire can also become a trap. When left unchecked, it turns into obsession, leading us to chase after things that may not truly serve us. For example, the desire for material possessions can lead to overspending and debt, while the desire for approval can result in sacrificing authenticity. When desire controls us, it often leads to dissatisfaction rather than fulfillment. Our desires are shaped by both internal and external influences. Advertisements, social norms, and peer pressure all play a role in shaping what we think we should want. This is why it's important to distinguish between desires that come from within and those imposed by external forces. Authentic desires align with our values and bring lasting satisfaction. Desire also requires discernment. Not every longing is worth pursuing, and not every goal will bring the happiness we anticipate. For example, someone may desire a high-paying job but find that it brings more stress than satisfaction. Learning to evaluate our desires by asking if they align with our values and long-term well-being helps us avoid unnecessary detours. Ultimately, desire is a tool. When directed wisely, it inspires us to grow, achieve, and create. It pushes us to explore new possibilities and challenge our limitations. But when left unchecked, it can become a source of frustration and distraction. Recognizing the nature of our desires allows us to harness their power for positive transformation. Our environment has a profound impact on why we do what we do. The people we surround ourselves with, the spaces we inhabit, and the culture we are part of all shape our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. While we often think of ourselves as independent beings, much of our behavior is a response to the influences around us. The most obvious aspect of our environment is the people in it. Relationships play a significant role in shaping who we are and how we act. For instance, being surrounded by supportive, growth-oriented individuals encourages us to strive for better. Conversely, a toxic environment filled with negativity can limit our potential and reinforce self-doubt. Physical spaces also influence our behavior. A cluttered, chaotic environment can create feelings of stress and overwhelm, while a clean, organized space promotes clarity and focus. This is why small changes to our surroundings, like decluttering a workspace or creating a calming area at home, can have a big impact on productivity and well-being. Culture and societal norms are another layer of environmental influence. These norms shape what we consider acceptable, desirable, or even possible. For example, living in a society that values competition may drive someone to prioritize success, while a culture that values community may encourage collaboration and empathy. Media and technology are modern environmental factors that wield tremendous influence. The content we consume, whether through social media, news, or entertainment, shapes our perceptions and priorities. For example, constant exposure to images of wealth and luxury may fuel material desires, while positive, uplifting content can inspire self-improvement. Our environment also determines our habits and routines. For instance, a gym nearby might encourage regular exercise, while an office stocked with unhealthy snacks might promote poor eating habits. By recognizing how our surroundings shape our choices, we can make intentional changes to support healthier behaviors. Interestingly, the influence of environment isn't always direct. Sometimes it's the subtle cues, the color of a room, the tone of a conversation, or even the weather that affect our mood and decisions. These small factors, though seemingly insignificant, can accumulate to create a powerful effect on how we feel and act. While we can't control every aspect of our environment, we can control how we respond to it. By curating our surroundings and being mindful of the influences we allow into our lives, we can create an environment that supports our growth, aligns with our values, and inspires us to become the best version of ourselves. Deep within every human being is a yearning, a call to rise above the ordinary and reach for something greater. This call to transcend is what drives us to move beyond survival and routine, to seek meaning and fulfillment that goes beyond material success. It's not just about achieving goals or gaining recognition, it's about becoming more than we are, aligning ourselves with values and purposes that elevate our existence. The call to transcend often begins as a quiet whisper. It might be the sense that there's more to life than what we're currently experiencing, or a feeling of restlessness despite having everything we thought we wanted. This inner stirring pushes us to question our lives, our choices, and our purpose. It is the voice that asks, is this all there is? This yearning is not satisfied by material possessions or surface-level achievements. While wealth, success, and status can bring comfort, they rarely fulfill the deeper desire to create, to contribute, and to connect with something larger than ourselves. Transcendence is about breaking free from the confines of ego and selfish pursuits to embrace a higher sense of being. The call to transcend often manifests through creativity, service, or spirituality. For some, it's the desire to leave a legacy, a piece of art, a discovery, or a business that changes lives. For others, it's the drive to serve others, to alleviate suffering, or to make the world a better place. And for many, transcendence is a spiritual journey, a quest to connect with the divine or understand life's mysteries. Interestingly, the pursuit of transcendence requires us to confront our limitations. It challenges us to face fears, overcome insecurities, and let go of attachments that no longer serve us. Transcendence is not about escaping reality, but embracing it fully, with all its beauty and challenges, to find deeper meaning in every moment. This call often becomes louder during times of crisis or change. When we face loss, failure, or hardship, we are forced to reevaluate what truly matters. These moments, though painful, often serve as catalysts for growth. They remind us of our resilience and capacity to rise above circumstances, connecting us with our higher purpose. Transcendence also requires humility. To rise above ourselves, we must first acknowledge our limitations and imperfections. This humility doesn't weaken us, it strengthens us by fostering self-awareness and openness to growth. It allows us to see beyond our immediate desires and connect with a vision that serves not just ourselves but others and the greater good. At its core, the call to transcend is a reminder that we are not just physical beings, we are creators, thinkers, and dreamers capable of imagining and shaping a better future. Answering this call doesn't mean abandoning the practicalities of life, it means infusing them with purpose and intention. When we strive to transcend, we discover not only what we are capable of achieving, but also who we are meant to become. Understanding why we do what we do is one of the most profound journeys we can undertake. It reveals the hidden motives, fears, and desires that shape our actions and define our lives. From our search for meaning to our need for connection, from the influence of our environment to the call to transcend, every force driving us offers an opportunity for growth, reflection, and transformation. When we pause to examine our motives, we gain clarity. We see where our fears are holding us back, where our desires are leading us astray, and where our beliefs need to be challenged. This awareness isn't just empowering, it's life-changing. It allows us to take control of our actions, align them with our values, and live with greater intention and purpose. Ultimately, the reasons behind our actions are not set in stone. They evolve as we do, shaped by our choices and experiences. By understanding and embracing the why behind what we do, we don't just change our behavior, we change our lives. We move from reacting to living intentionally, from being driven by circumstances to being guided by purpose. So ask yourself, why do I do what I do? And more importantly, is it taking me closer to the life I want to create? The answers to these questions hold the power to transform not just what you do, but who you are and who you are becoming.